For the last few weeks on Monday Night Raw, we have been witnessing growing tension within the Judgment Day, particularly between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. The faction mates even had an intense face-off, during which Liv Morgan and other members mediated. It seems like the stable has been divided into two halves. The first includes Dominic Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez, and the other features Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Carlito. In a shocking twist, we might see Dominic Mysterio being wary of Finn Balor's tendency to turn his back and pull the trigger first by kicking him out and welcoming Logan Paul to the Judgment Day. Logan Paul never shies away from accepting how big of a fan he is of Dominic and often talks about his heel transition. While talking about Dirty Dom on an episode of the Impulsive podcast featuring Liv Morgan, Paul revealed that he pitched the idea of forming a tag team with the former North American champion to Triple H. However, the plans were not considered. Paul has been out of action since losing his United States title at SummerSlam 2024 to LA Knight. Upon his comeback, Triple H could finally pair up Logan and Mysterio. Although Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor have been finding it hard to work together, Liv Morgan is currently riding a massive ride of success as WWE Women's World Champion and has been feuding with Rhea Ripley. Last week's edition of Raw saw Rhea Ripley making her surprising return, and she joined forces with the women's tag team champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Io Sky against Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Candice LeRae, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton. The Stanford-based promotion officially announced that Team Liv Morgan will face Team Rhea Ripley in a War Games match at Survivor Series 2024. It will be interesting to see what's next for the Judgment Day and if Logan Paul will join the stable in the near future. In the unpredictable world of WWE, faction betrayals and power shifts are a constant source of intrigue. Recently, the Judgment Day, a dominant stable comprising Finn Balor, Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio, and Rhea Ripley, has shown cracks in its foundation. The tension between Balor and Priest has been brewing for months, and it seems Dominic Mysterio, once seen as the group's underdog, could play a pivotal role in reshaping the faction's future. With rumors swirling about a potential betrayal and a returning star stepping into the mix, could Dominic Mysterio be gearing up to oust Finn Balor and bring in a fresh face to Judgment Day? Let's delve into the possibilities and explore the impact such a move could have on the WWE Universe. Judgment Day has been a dominant force on WWE programming, but the cracks have been impossible to ignore. The root of the tension lies in the uneasy alliance between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Balor, the experienced leader, and Priest, the powerhouse with a money-in-the-bank briefcase, have clashed over strategy and leadership. Their friction came to a head during Balor's feud with Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Priest's frequent interferences, often seen as undermining Balor's efforts, added fuel to the fire. The strain reached a boiling point when Priest hesitated to cash in his briefcase on Rollins during one of Balor's matches, creating visible discord. Dominic Mysterio, who has grown increasingly confident in his role as the group's young star, could see this internal strife as an opportunity. With Rhea Ripley supporting his decisions, Dominic might feel emboldened to take matters into his own hands, positioning himself as a central figure in the faction. Finn Balor has been a cornerstone of Judgment Day since its early days. However, his leadership style has come under scrutiny within the faction. As the group evolves, Dominic and Rhea Ripley have emerged as breakout stars, while Damian Priest's money-in-the-bank briefcase positions him as a future world champion. Balor's lack of significant single success during his tenure in Judgment Day could be viewed as a liability. The faction's philosophy centers around dominance, and if Balor is perceived as holding the group back, the other members might decide it's time for a change. Dominic, emboldened by his North American Championship reign and his rising popularity as a heel, could spearhead the effort to remove Balor. Aligning himself with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, Dominic might argue that Balor's vision no longer serves the group's best interests. One of the most tantalizing aspects of this potential betrayal is the speculation about a returning star joining Judgment Day. WWE has a history of using faction shakeups to reintroduce wrestlers, and the timing feels right for a major surprise. The name being whispered most frequently, J.D. McDonagh. McDonagh, a former NXT standout and a close ally of Finn Balor in real life, has been lurking on the periphery of WWE storylines for months. His alliance with Balor was teased earlier this year, but McDonagh hasn't fully integrated into Judgment Day. If Dominic and Priest turn on Balor, McDonagh could step in to defend his mentor, only to reveal that he's siding with Judgment Day. Alternatively, McDonagh might replace Balor outright, solidifying his status as a main roster star. His technical wrestling prowess and sinister persona make him a natural fit for the group's dark aesthetic. Dominic Mysterio's transformation from Rey Mysterio's beloved son to a cocky heel has been one of WWE's most compelling character arcs. Under the guidance of Judgment Day, Dominic has blossomed into a legitimate contender, earning boos from the crowd and proving his worth in the ring. If Dominic leads the charge to remove Balor, it would mark a bold step in his evolution. By orchestrating a betrayal, Dominic would solidify himself as more than just a supporting player. He'd become a power broker within the faction. This move could also set up a fascinating dynamic between Dominic and Damian Priest. While Priest has been positioning himself as the group's next leader, Dominic's growing influence and cunning tactics could create a rivalry for control of Judgment Day. Removing Finn Balor from Judgment Day would have significant ramifications for the faction and WWE as a whole. Balor as a babyface. If Balor is betrayed, he could return to his roots as a babyface, reigniting the fan support he enjoyed during his early WWE days. A vengeful Balor seeking retribution against Judgment Day would be a compelling storyline, especially if J.D. McDonagh aligns with the group. Dominic's dominance. Dominic stepping up as a key decision-maker in Judgment Day would cement his status as a top-tier heel. His manipulation of the group to oust Balor would demonstrate a newfound ruthlessness, aligning him more closely with Rhea Ripley's cutthroat mentality. Tension with Damian Priest. While Balor's removal could temporarily unify Judgment Day, it might sow seeds of future conflict between Dominic and Priest. Both men are ambitious, and their contrasting styles could lead to a power struggle down the line. New blood in Judgment Day. Adding J.D. McDonagh or another returning star would inject fresh energy into the faction. McDonagh's presence could also create a fascinating mentor-protege dynamic with Dominic, further complicating the group's relationships. WWE has a golden opportunity to explore multiple creative avenues with this storyline. Here are a few possibilities. Dominic versus Balor feud. Dominic betraying Balor could set up a grudge match, allowing Dominic to prove himself against a veteran. Faction warfare. Balor and a new team, possibly including his real-life friends like AJ Styles, could take on Judgment Day in a long-term feud. Priest cash-in drama. With Balor gone, Damian Priest could become the group's de facto leader. However, his eventual cash-in attempt might lead to further dissension, especially if Dominic feels sidelined. Rhea Ripley's role. As the group's undisputed powerhouse, Rhea Ripley's loyalties would add another layer to the story. Would she support Dominic's move, or would she remain neutral?